26th of September 2021, the Berlin Marathon. After running a personal best of 3 hours and 15 minutes, I decided that day that my next goal was to break that elusive sub 3 hour marathon. Back then, in all honesty, I thought it would be easy, just keep doing what I'm doing and watch the times keep falling. I was wrong, so wrong. It's been over 3 years later and I'm still chasing that same goal. 6 attempts, each time falling on the cruel side of 3 hours. After a tough summer of 2024, Valencia was a comeback race with the aim of staying in the game. I've learnt to not put too much pressure on myself and just enjoy the running journey. That being said, I must believe I'm going to Barcelona to do one thing. On March the 16th, to run a sub 3 hour marathon. Welcome to the 14th of January. Oh my god, I've got white shoes on and I've got to navigate this to get where I want to be. Anyway, today I'm doing some hill reps, 2 times 10 times 200 meters up a hill. First day that the snow and the ice from all last week has finally melted. Pretty much most of it. There's a bit here and there, but it's so good to not be on the treadmill. I've used the treadmill a lot last week. I did a long run on Sunday a couple of days ago. It was so icy, but and quite hard to do actually because it was icy and snowy still. But I couldn't face going on the treadmill another time. I'd done it 3 times that week, so I wasn't going to do it, so I'm just so glad it's all gone. I've never done it on this hill before, to be honest, so I don't know how steep it is actually. In person now, it does look like it's going to be painful, this hill reps, isn't it? It's going to be horrible. Let's get this show on the road and give it a good go. Catch you probably halfway or something. I'm not seeing a bit. Oh. On the 5th rep. I think I've been going too fast, especially on the first one, and I probably need to walk jog some of the recovery down because I've done 5 and the thought of 15 more is not possible. I should get to 10 if I ease down a little bit. 10 degrees today, dry. It has been sunny earlier. 2 days ago it was -5, so the change in temperature is madness. This right now is absolutely perfect for me. Probably my favourite temperature to train in racing. Right, down at the bottom. It's a lot steeper than it looked on Google Maps. I've never run this hill before. I always run on this road past it, but yeah, when you see it in person, it's quite tough. Right. I'll get my 6th one done now and I'll see you at the end of this set at 10. See you in a bit. I'm gonna have a good break. Have a little break. That's rep 10 done. Now a few minutes break. I'm gonna have at least 4 minutes or something. This is so hard. It's too steep. On the second set I'm gonna have to be a bit more smarter, try and get more consistent pacing that I can manage up the hill. I mean, I'm making it up, but I'm just absolutely dead at the end. Yeah, so this session is not my session. I'll talk about my training plan in more detail at another time, but I've rearranged a lot of it. This session, 20 200s, I've never done it before. I've done hill repeats before, but I've only done like 8. I think I'm going to have a little bit longer, maybe 5 minutes. I'll do 5 minutes to make sure I can do the second set. Oh, there's a bench here at the bottom of the road, so it works out quite nicely. I better get ready now. It's just gone 5 minutes. Oh, that's 5 done in the second set. Well, it's really hard, but weirdly, I feel like it's better than the first set. I'm not sure if it's as fast, but it feels pretty fast and solid. But I just feel like I'm doing better. It feels like after that 5-minute break between the first set, sort of warmed up for it now. Still got 5 to go, mind. But yeah, I've got halfway. I'm roughly having the first part down, walking, and I'm jogging the last part. I'm not sure if you're meant to walk or jog them down, so I'll do a mixture of both. Alright, catch you in a bit. Done. Oh, it's done. Oh, managed to really push it on those final 2 reps. It's getting dark now. Head back home. I'll tell you what, I'm glad that's over though. Bloody hell. That's a nasty session. I feel like I was in Squid Game. So glad to be back outside though, to be honest. It feels so good. A lot of neighbours and locals coming out of the houses and sort of smiling and cheering me on. So we've got a little bit of support on that in that session just now. Yeah. Right, I'll see you later. Session done. I need to recover, get my breath back. See you in a bit. Oof. Good afternoon, it's Wednesday, the day after the hill rep session that you just saw. Feel a little bit sore on the glutes. The legs are alright in general, but the glutes are a little bit sore. Feels like I've done a gym session. Today I'll do an easy run, but yeah, nothing until Saturday, where I'm going to try and do a hard effort park run. I hope to improve on the time that I ran another park run. A couple of weeks ago I ran 19:43. I was paced by my friend Danny. I just said, look, just get me into the 19 minutes, which he did. I wanted to finish strong, which I did, and hopefully as the training gets on, eventually get into the 18 minutes. And Sunday is a long run, so yeah, that's the rest of the week. So yeah, before the new year, I put out a post, ask any questions that I could answer on the channel to end the year off. I'd never got around to doing it. I decided to scrap that video and just select a few questions and throw them into the training videos like this one. In the future videos, if I've not answered your question on this one, I'll answer it in another one. So I'll just go with the first one on the list here. It's from Kenny Osborne 5835. Will you be doing a proper carb load for your next marathon? Can you share some carb loading tips? I'm not sure about tips, but I will definitely be doing a proper carb load in the sense of what I know, which is what I did in last year for Manchester. I think that's the only time where I really had any sort of structured carb load. It was the first time I didn't feel like I was ever getting cramp anywhere. I felt energized at the end. All the problems in that race was, I guess, the feeling in the start of the race. If you've watched the video, it was all in the first part of the race. I felt quite good at the end. I felt energized throughout, and my muscles were all right. So I think the carb load worked in that sense. And my last marathon, Valencia, I didn't really get a chance to do it. In fact, over the 2 days, the Friday and the Saturday, I was getting to the points where I was so hungry, my body was rumbling, my stomach was rumbling, so I was actually doing the opposite of a carb load. I was actually starving my body. It was more like a holiday vibe with that one, so I wasn't that bothered. But yes, the next one I will definitely be doing a structured carb load. The equation of 8 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight. So for me, I'm normally around 62 kilograms when it becomes race weekend. So 62 or 63, it falls at around 500 to 558 grams of carbohydrates per day leading up to the race. Another question from Alan Ramos 4431. Will you and your brothers eventually run an event in the USA next year? You have more fans here than you think. That's actually quite cool to hear, that there's people in America in the States watching the content. So thank you, Alan. Well, my eldest brother Humphrey has spoke about New York Marathon. He'd find it cool to go there, I think, and run there. I think he likes the city. He went on holiday and he really liked it, and he spoke about that. So I imagine in the future he'd try and get, maybe the ballot for that or something, or go through an agency and get in like that. My brother Stephen Valencia was semi-injured and didn't really get any proper training in to go for a PB, but I assume that he's going to go for a Boston qualifier when he gets back on it. And if he runs a Boston qualifier, I imagine he would probably take the opportunity to enter the time and try and run Boston and go and do it. For me, well, I've already qualified multiple times for things like Chicago and Boston, so I could have done them, but I didn't ever follow through and do any of them, and it's probably going to be a massive expenditure planning a trip to the States, and it's not a sort of place you go just for a couple of days or an extended weekend. You're going to have to sort of make more of it. I can't see me doing that anytime soon. Just because of the logistics and the cost of it all, I probably won't be able to do it. I have got family in America, in San Diego area, so I believe if I ever did it, it'd probably be built around seeing family and being this sort of holiday thing as well. So never say never. Let's pick another question. I'll do a couple more. Question from Phil Crampton, one of my mates, ran Valencia. He has asked, what's your thoughts on double easy session days? So he's talking about double run days. I have done them in the past. My first Manchester Marathon build, around 5k run, easy run on my lunch, and then I'd do a longer run later in the evening after work when I got home. It was a great way to build mileage. Nowadays, if I do it, it's because something's changed in the plan of the week. Because it snowed on the Saturday night, I knew I wasn't going to run Sunday. I wouldn't even be able to get the car out to go to the gym, so I knew I wouldn't run Sunday. So after the park run in the morning, a good few hours later that evening, I did an easy run, sort of to replace the Sunday long run, because I knew I wasn't going to run Sunday. So that's why I would do it now, shifting things around to build to keep the mileage up. If you look at all the elites, like the sub-elites, the really good runners, the really fast runners, they are doing it. It's not for everyone. You need the time. You need to be able to run high mileage for a start. I don't really go too much over 100k a week when I peak, but some people need to be running 120, 130k, and the pros up to like something crazy like 160. So yeah, you will see it at the higher levels, I think. John Broom, another question: why does the marathon have such a pull for you as opposed to other race distances? Have you ever thought about trying team running, e.g. in a relay event? Thank you, John, for this question. It's John from the Two Running Brooms on YouTube. Very nice people. I met them briefly in Manchester. Why does the marathon have such a pull? Well, I wouldn't say marathon is my favourite race. I would just say the marathon right now, where I'm in my running journey, is the one that I don't feel like I'm really proud of how the race went. I'm very proud of the times that I've run. Like my PB is 3 hours 9 seconds, and I've ran many times close, within seconds to the minutes, close to 3 hours, to the goal of breaking sub 3. So I'm being very proud of the times, but I've not really crossed the line thinking, oh, that was a great race. It's not gone how I imagined a really successful run would go like. So if I compare it to the half marathon, I've PB'd every single year that I've tried to go for a PB in the half. Even last year, when I had that summer burnout and those last two halves that I raced didn't go well, I still managed to PB that year with the 122. And more importantly, I've managed to get the PBs, but I've managed to race the race really well. Like, I've increased pace at the end. As I've crossed the line, that went really well. And I felt good, and it went how I'd like it to go. And it's hard to explain, but I just feel the marathon, I've not sort of solved my own personal Rubik's Cube with it, as it were. So I hope that answers that bit. Have you ever thought about trying running in a relay event? not really running with a lot of people, really. I'm not in a club anymore, and I don't really do any of that sort of stuff. The track event I did that was held by Hillsborough Running Club, I think I was literally the only one without a club. When they announced the people who were in the next race, it just said William Fu, unaffiliated. I definitely want to do something like an ultra with somebody else. I'd have to find someone who wants to run an ultra with me, because I want to vlog it, have a bit of banter through it and things, and just see if I like it. How do I find it? But I know the word ultra is very sort of loose. Difficulty level is so, vast between what event you pick. So I'm not sure what I mean by saying doing an ultra. Maybe one that's quite long in distance but not too technical terrain, something like that maybe, because I don't do a lot of trail running or anything like that. Hope that gives a little insight into the question. So I think that's it for now, because I've got a list of a lot more, but I'm going to leave that for another video. If yours is not being read out, don't worry, I will get round to it. And if there's any more questions, just send me a message or whatever, and I'll add it to the list and maybe answer some on another video. Saturday morning, I'm going to head out to park run. I'm not going to be filming because it's going to be too hard running at 5k pace, and it's quite narrow, very narrow, very crowded, so it'll be a bit dangerous as well. If I was not going for hard effort, it'd be alright. Yeah, I'm going to head down now. It's pretty cold, about 1 degrees. See how it goes, try and get improvement from 1943. See you in a bit. Good afternoon. Monday the 20th. No running today, it's a rest day. But I thought I'd just catch up with the Saturday's park run and Sunday's long run. Didn't really get a chance to film after the park run or after the long run on Sunday, so I thought I'd sit down and have a quick update on how those runs went. Let's start with Saturday, the park run. I wanted to get under 1943, which I got at Poolsbrook Park Run in Chesterfield, which is quite a fast course. The one that I did on Saturday, Millhouses in Sheffield, although it's the flattest park in Sheffield, it's still not that fast because of the nature of the course. Although I got under 20 minutes, but I also finished quite strong and plenty of gas in the tank at the end, which is a good thing. If I was holding on for dear life at getting under 20 minutes, I'd be like concerned with Barcelona Marathon coming quickly. So let me talk about the long run. Long run was 26k. I didn't get much sleep that night. I went to bed really late and got really early, so I was a little bit worried with that, and I also had a little bit of the sore throat. But yeah, long run was good. I'm trying to do more of a structured long run. If you're from Sheffield, you'd probably know how hilly it is. The paces that you go will be affected, and you don't get that sort of consistency when you want to run a little bit faster during it. I've stopped going on my normal routes with the great views and all that sort of stuff, and just stick to more of a consistent route where I knew that if I wanted to do a bit of steady work, then I could do it without these big inclines and just things like that. So that's what I've done, adding some steady pace in, not sub 3 marathon pace, pretty much well off that at the moment. As I progress through the weeks, as we get closer to Barcelona, I should start maybe dragging those paces down a little bit, because my marathon pace right now is not a sub 3 pace. It's a 4:22 minute kilometre. That's my marathon pace that I'm going off, because I ran in Valencia in that, so my marathon pace isn't a sub 3 pace. So yeah, still very early on in the Barcelona marathon training. I will talk about the training plan a little bit later on. The final tweaks have just sort of been done and changed with the help of somebody, so I will talk about that in the next time. Barcelona Marathon has sold out, from what I see. 27,000 they've sold. It's early on yet, but I am looking forward to seeing how my fitness progresses. I want to get to the point in this build where I say, I'm going to Barcelona to run a sub 3. That's how I want to feel at the end of this camp. I'm going to sign off now. I spoke too much, and I'll catch you another time.